Hello and welcome back to Florida Foodie. I'm Candace Campos.
And I'm Lisa Bell. Running a food truck is a tough job, and today's guest runs 3 with the help of her husband. The pair also run a monthly pop-up at UCF and are looking to open a brick-and-mortar location in New Smyrna Beach after recently wrapping up a stint inside Wops Hops Brewing in Sanford.
They are busy. The pair got started with their food truck business as a side hustle in 2018, and since then the business has obviously grown to a full-time job. So we were so happy to be joined by one of the pair there, Carleen Ponder from Rollin Dough and The Knot. How are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for joining us. You are so busy. Besides running all of these locations, you also have 2 little ones who are running around behind you.
Yeah, it's a nonstop job, but honestly, I couldn't ask for a better thing.
That's awesome. Now, what's interesting to us, you actually used to be in television news. That's a big change.
Cool. Yeah, I did broadcast journalism and then kind of weaned myself out of that. And then, here we are, restaurant business into self-employment.
Yeah, it's win-win. Okay, so for people who don't know, what is Rollin Dough and The Knot?
Okay, so Rollin Dough was our start. So that food truck has a wood-fired oven because my husband makes the best wood-fired pizza. So that one does wood-fired pizza. And then we also started something where we do an oversized garlic knot and we turn it into a sandwich. So we call that the garlic knot slider. So Rollin Dough sells all of that, but then we started another trailer, which is called The Knot, and that one just does the garlic knot sliders and the loaded garlic knots.
My mouth is watering
I was
just listening to you.
I'm like picturing the slider right now.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing.
What do you put on that slider?
So we have a whole bunch of them. So our most popular is going to be like the chicken parmesan. We do a meatball, sausage and peppers. And then we do like a caprese one, which is fresh mozzarella, tomato, basil.
So did your husband have a background in food service, restaurant cooking? That is such a big change from doing the news every day to serving garlic knot sliders.
Yeah, so he's been in the restaurant business basically his whole life. His family in Puerto Rico runs a whole bunch of pizza places. So it kind of culminated from there. And then when we met, we worked at a restaurant and we kind of both decided, we could probably do this better on our own. So then we started Rollin Dough and it's just been nonstop ever since. It's almost been 4 years.
So why a food truck?
I think for us, the food truck is just such a lower, there's so much lower overhead. And it also gave us an opportunity to find out where we did better. We got to do so many different events, meet so many different people. So I think to start as a restaurant, for us working in restaurants our whole lives, that we just kind of realized, hey, let's just start doing the food truck and see how it goes, and then we'll see from there.
So where have you found most of your success in operating the food trucks?
I honestly, we found our most success in Sanford, and that's where we started. And we really did make a name for ourselves, which is what led us to the pop-up in Wops Hops.
And pizza. That's not the easiest thing to do in a food truck. And what was the process of thinking? Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do pizza. Then we're gonna do knots. What was the creation of it really?
I think originally his mindset was I think there was only one other pizza truck on the road when we started. And so we wanted to kind of give, a little bit of different of a variety. But it's also like, if you think about the events that we go to, they're very family friendly. So what kid doesn't love a good pizza?
Right.
So, but then we also wanted to offer something different, which is where the garlic knot sliders came from. And now there are a handful of pizza trucks on the road, which is why the knot has become such a popular thing for us. And it's super quick to turn around. And we've gotten a lot into catering. So for the knot is like a wedding. We kind of
right. I like it.
Theme. And we have been very successful with catering weddings, and we love it because everyone is just so happy. And it's just such a fun experience to be a part of somebody's day like that.
So do you have a dessert knot for the weddings?
We do, yeah. So we do a sweet knot. So we toss our knots in cinnamon sugar.
Oh, forget I'm out of here. Where are you located? Where do you live?
Yeah, follow us on Insta.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So cinnamon sugar.
Yes.
Yeah, so we do our knot, our fresh bread, and then we toss in cinnamon sugar, and then we put Nutella and strawberries inside.
So when did you decide to make this transition to doing this full time and leave behind, your traditional career?
So we got Rollin Dough. It was just such a random situation that we got ourselves into, and we were like, we'll just kind of run it, little by little. And then you don't really realize this isn't a part-time thing. Like, I mean, a lot of people do it part-time, but it's the scheduling and the prep, and you don't just show up and serve food. So I think it maybe only took us like 1 or 2 months to realize, hey, like we could really do this. And so it didn't take us long to just be like, all right, let's go.
And how did you guys do during the pandemic? I mean, that's been the big topic of just like food trucks. Some did great, some didn't. Some brick and mortars did great, some didn't. So what was the process like through 2020 and beyond?
So it definitely was a shock because it came right during St. Patrick's Day. So like for us, we had like 5,000 green knots.
Oh, wow.
But we got creative and we started selling pizza kits. And we started doing like food kits where we would deliver them to people's houses. And then it became a fun thing for kids to do because you had to stay at home. So we gave them the dough, we gave them the sauce and the cheese, and just explained to them how to make it. And the first couple of months we did really solid with that. And then we started reaching out to apartment complexes and communities where people still weren't going out, but they have to eat. So that's when the apartments and communities started revving up. And so that's how we survived. It was hard.
Yeah. And it's so interesting to hear from your experience because there are so many people who dream of doing kind of what you're doing, quitting their job and opening up a food truck. But it is so hard. I mean, reaching out to apartment complexes, I'm sure, you had plenty of doors like shut in your face. No, no, no. And even getting into some of these markets and doing the pop-ups, that's a whole process. It's almost like you go through a job interview just to be kind of accepted there.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely, it's worth the risk because we are really loving it and we're really enjoying it. But there are some ups and downs where it's like, okay, you kind of look at your schedule and you're like, oh, wow. Like that September is looking a little empty. And if you're not working, then you're not making money. So, right. I mean, it is definitely for the strong-willed, but I think it's definitely worth it. And one door opens if, you go to an event and it's not the best, who knows who you're going to meet, right? And then where that's going to lead. So I think it's just open mind. You just have to kind of just go with it.
So we talked a little bit about the pandemic and how you guys had to pivot and then all of a sudden doing those meal kits, which I love.
Great idea.
Yeah, I mean, because even now I think families are still looking to kind of recapture some of those times and moments that we had where we can really bond and do something different. But then the next thing that came after that was the supply chain issues and rising gas prices. And here you are in food trucks, literally driving, and that's an expense for you.
Yeah, we got to the point where, I mean, it was unfortunate, but we had to start requiring minimums or, some type of guarantee, especially for the farther drives, because now we're based out of New Smyrna. So to go all the way to Orlando and not know, if it's going to be worth that, we had to start requiring some minimums on certain events. And then, we slightly raised our prices, but I think people were so, they're just acclimating to it. And then they know we're just another, luxury, I guess you would say. So if they can eat out and they can join us, I mean, they appreciate it. So it's definitely, it's just, going with the flow like everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you've had great success with it. Now we're talking brick and mortar. Give us an idea. It's going to be in New Smyrna Beach. What's that process been like, kind of gearing up for the next step in your adventure?
It's definitely exciting, and especially now because we're kind of moving forward. We took a little roadblock because we've been working at this almost a year. So it's just the city is there are just so many things you learn, and like we have no idea about any of it. So once we get to a step and we're learning some things, and it's like, okay, now we've got a hood up and we have plumbing coming in this week. It's just little by little, but at the same time we have to keep moving because it has to get paid. So like, we would love to be here to maintain and manage it all, but it's also, okay, we need to get on the road. Let's pay that plumber. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
it's definitely very exciting though. And I think it's going to be such a positive step. And I think New Smyrna needs this because there is a lot here, but at the same time, it's such a unique thing we want to create. So and what we just keep saying is it'll happen when it happens. And
So-
we've got what we have going.
Can you share where exactly it's going to be in New Smyrna, or is that still under wraps? Because as someone who goes to the beach quite a bit, I'm excited to plan this out. Yeah.
We're like on your way. So we will be off of Canal Street. So we're on the west side of Canal Street before it gets into that really cute downtown area. So we've got this beautiful patio. We're planning to make it, again, super family friendly, dog friendly, a huge yard where the kids can play and relax, and the parents can just have a cold drink, some good food, and just be a family.
Yes.
That's hard to find.
And I really feel like New Smyrna, I don't know what it is lately, but it's been like new restaurant here, and have you tried this at New Smyrna? And it's just become almost a little dining hub, not only in downtown, but it's now starting to stretch out. So is New Smyrna Beach because that's where you guys live now, or did you guys kind of go there to open up the brick and mortar?
Yeah, so we lived in Sanford. So we were based out of Sanford, and then we got the opportunity to open New Smyrna. And this was like right when the housing market was really doing well for sellers and buyers. So we picked up and left, and we moved to New Smyrna almost a year ago. And so now here we are kind of starting to get the ball rolling again with the store. So we're hoping by the end of the year, but again, it'll happen when it needs to happen. And, we can't rush the process. So,
And thankfully you guys got the truck. So you're still moving. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the backyard's so great because we were able to park everything there, and it's our commissary, so we can prep and we can get the truck stocked and get on the road, but still be there, if somebody needs us to, hey, where is this supposed to go? What are we supposed to be doing?
And so how does that work with having two little kids? Because it seems like you guys have, you have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. So basically they were kind of like born into this. That's a lot to juggle. Do they go out with you in the trucks? What do you do?
So no.
No.
We have tried, but their attention span is not solid. So once a 5-year-old can start reading and writing, I think she might be onto something. But I remember being super pregnant and just slinging knots. And then their second one came, and we had her in her little carrier. Which they have definitely grown to, into this atmosphere. But we keep them at home. We let them be kids, and then we come home and we take care of them. So, but when they want to be there, they will. But right now, they just kind of are like, okay, it's hot.
And how often do you guys eat garlic knots at home?
Never.
Ha, really?
Never. Yep. No, never. And I'm like, it's so crazy because I don't love garlic. So for me to work in this, it's so crazy. When he tries a new one, I'm like, okay, I'll try it just for this. But I think it's better that way because I might be like 500 pounds if I was eating garlic.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have a 5-year-old, you have a 3-year-old, you're opening up a brick and mortar. Is there anything else you can add to your plate at this possible moment?
Actually, we just got a pop-up in UCF. So we're doing that once a month. It's for a whole week. We're inside of the student union, which really came out of nowhere. And we just did it last week for the first time. And oh my God, it's amazing. So just another thing to add to our plate, but it's great. Just to be able to, the opportunity to spread, what we do and meet all these people and serve this food. That's our goal.
And I'm just fascinated by the process with all of this. So when you have a pop-up at UCF for a week, do you go and stay in a hotel by UCF, or are you driving back and forth too?
We are driving back and forth. So we wake up at 6, drop the girls off, pack up our stuff, and just haul our butts over to UCF. Work for a couple hours, clean up, come home.
Wow.
Read regroup, and then do it all again. So it's a long 5 days, I will tell you that. And we're only actually working for 3 hours a day.
Wow.
But it feels like it's a full day affair. So,
But I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed, and you have hungry college kids who, I bet the food at UCF is great, but there's nothing like garlic sliders with caprese salad.
The garlic smell was permeating through the whole student union, and everyone's like, "Where is that smell coming from?" I'm like, "Hi."
And of course, everyone today is a foodie with social media and Instagram. So how has that really changed? Because it's evolved a lot over the past 5 years.
Oh, definitely. And what's really great is too, the certain events that we do, like Tasty Takeover over in the Milk District, and even UCF now, is like, those are the kids that you want on social media, because those are the people that are actually going to just give you all this free advertisement. And they really, and I think, despite their age, because everyone thinks they're a foodie, but it's like, they just know what they like and what they want. And if they like it, you're about to explode. And that's the goal too, is, we want to be found. And I don't know who else is doing a garlic knot slider. And if they are, how are you doing, So,
get off my turf.
Yeah. I mean, so many people have food blogs, and, they're all foodies and they all have their own niche. So it's really great. And then they all come together and they find us, and it's just like, and then they, it explodes.
That's awesome.
But like a simple tag, I mean, you don't need to be a blogger. I mean, a simple tag and a story, all of a sudden you click that and you sit there and you start scrolling on their Instagram page, you're hooked. And a lot of these college kids and these young kids are going to be brides and grooms eventually, and then the cycle continues. So.
And do you ship garlic knot sliders?
It's crazy. My husband is trying to get into the distributing business now. Like, we can make these. We can mass produce these, and we can get these, because the process to make a garlic knot is a full day affair. So for like a pizza joint to save that time not having to make that, and they can just buy them, that's his whole mindset. So just wait for it.
Yes.
Baby steps.
Right.
Baby steps.
Yes.
Trust me, it's hard to pull him down sometimes.
Awesome.
So tell us where people can find you.
So we right now, because so the Wops Hops pop-up is over. We end that today or tomorrow, tonight, or whatever. Or what's today? I don't even know the date. So that'll end this week. We will be in UCF a couple more weeks, or in the rest of the year. But I would say follow us on social media at @the_knot_FL on Instagram. That's where you can find us. We post every week where we're going to be. So that's, we're everywhere, Central Florida. And if you ever have a community or a neighborhood you want us, we're always open to new places. So.
And your brick and mortar store, do you have an estimated time for when you plan to open that in New Smyrna?
We have no idea. I want to say the end of this year, but that store is going to be called the Knot House. So that one has an Instagram as well. So we post, updates and everything on that. So
nice.
Once we get there, you'll know about it.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Are you the social media manager as well?
I do it all.
Is it really just you two?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So luckily we have a very strong family support system. Like, his family is here taking care of the girls when we need help. And my mom helps me on my food truck. So it's really, we try and keep it nice and tight, but it's, now that we're expanding, it's getting harder to staff.
Yeah. And just geographically, I mean, you're all over the place, which is great. And I'm assuming you do weddings all over Central Florida.
Yes.
All right, there's your 3-year-old. We told her that she could come back and say hello, because she was around earlier. Hi.
What's your name?
Yeah. What's your name? Yeah, Mila.
Mila.
So does she have a favorite knot?
She's actually not a carb girl. So
Oh.
She doesn't eat, she barely eats bread. This is Hazel.
Hi, Hazel.
Hello.
So you like the knots?
Yeah.
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 Well, that's awesome.
Well, good luck to everybody. I mean, it looks like a passion project. It's You get to spend more time at home, which is also a huge win-win for you and your family. So we wish you all the luck. Let us know when the Knot House opens up. And of course, we'll just continue to keep ourselves updated with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having us.
And if you're listening to this on the podcast, get on over to clickorlando.com and watch this craziness that's happening on the video. Just fast forward to the end. Awesome. Yes. Well, Carling, thank you so much for inviting us into your home and talking to us all about your business.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Well, thank you guys so much, and we can't wait to have you guys out.
We'd love that.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Florida Foodie. We'd also like to thank our guest, Carling Ponder. You can find her businesses online at rollindoughfl.com. You can also find Rollin Dough and The Knot on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to follow Lisa Bell online. Search Lisa Bell News on Facebook and Instagram, or Lisa Bell News 6 on Twitter. You can find Candace Campos on social media as well. She's on Twitter. Just search at Candace News 6. And on Facebook, search Candace Campos News 6. Also, a big thank you to our technical producers, Derek Mosier and Ryan Haley, our post-production audio engineer, Chris Flora, and our director, Rich Burns. I'm the show's producer, Thomas Mates. Please take the time to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to or download your podcast from. And you can find videos of all of our podcasts on clickorlando.com and on YouTube. Just search for Florida Foodie.